Annyeonghaseyo! Welcome to Afternoona Delight, where Leah, Megan, and Amy, romance novelists, and your K-romance guides. So grab some dekboki and listen to your new favorite unease. Hello, it's Megan.
Hey there, it's Amy.
So it's just the two of us tonight, which sometimes happens in the summer. Summer is just kind of an insane time. I'm sure it is for you at home listening, and it is for us. But we'll have Leah back soon.
Yeah, we're not even recording on our regular night right now.
Yeah, we're not recording on our regular night, and I will explain why very quickly. And it's because it's World Cup. Look,
But it was me too. I wasn't available yesterday either. So
That's true. Amy wasn't available. It's World Cup. Leah and I are both pretty much all in. And the United States played last night and they did win. I don't know what's going to happen by the time you listen to this if they've continued to win, but they did win last night and that was amazing. But yes, Amy was also busy. And Amy, why don't you tell everyone what you were busy doing, because it was probably even more exciting than what I did.
I don't think it
watching
was
World
more
Cup.
exciting than the World Cup.
I don't know. You
Let's
sound-
not. Yeah. So yesterday was July 1st, which was coincidentally my birthday, but also I set that as my release day for my first independently published book. And look, I have a copy right here. It's called Heart and Souls by me.
It looks so good. My paperback was shipped today.
Yay!
So, yeah. It's
Hopefully
coming
you
soon.
have the most corrected file.
Yeah.
And like, look, this is my first indie book, but it is not my first book by any means. I think this is book 24 for
Wow.
me. And never have I ever had a book launch party. Like, ever. Have you?
No, never.
Like, I just never have. I don't know. I just haven't. A lot of people do. I haven't. I also, I am not good at all at self-promotion. And the only reason this even happened is because I happened to stroll into a new shop in town called Bubble Tea and Books. I will give them a shout. And they're a new shop in my hometown. And I was just kind of looking at the bookshelves, and the owner said, "Hey, if you see any books that I'm missing, I'm still building my collection. Let me know what I should have." And in a moment of boldness, I was like, "Well, you should have my books." And she's like, "What's your name?"
I'm so proud of you for saying that.
I know. She's like, "What's your name?" And I told her. And so here's the thing about the town where I live. Like, I live in Chicago suburbs, like regular old Chicago suburb. But our suburb is like a small town because we're a unit district where everybody's kids start in school together in kindergarten and move on through up through 12th. It's the same school district, so you know the same people the whole time. And I worked in town, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I know a lot of people. And she's like, "Do you know how many people have come in here and told me about you and that I should have your books?" And I was like, "Well, I can bring you some," because of course I had copies at home. And we got into talking, and I told her I had a new book coming out this summer. And she's like, "Well, let's do something together. Let's collaborate." And so because of that, I was like, "Sure, let's have a launch party. Are you available on July 1st, which is the day I'm releasing the book?" And she said yes. And they closed the shop 2 hours early and let me basically take over the store. And she kept a full staff there, so they were making bubble tea for everybody. And yeah, she has one of her suppliers does decorative cookies, and she made cookies of my book cover and cookies of book cover elements. I've got pictures on social media, and I can reshare them on our Afternoona. But another kind of cookie that she does is she'll do a cover element, and it's just outlined on white, and then below like a teapot, because there's a teapot on my cover. And so below the teapot, there will be 4 or 5 little color swatches that are all part of the icing. And then you get a tiny little paintbrush, and you just wet the paintbrush, and you can paint the icing with the icing.
I
with the
love
colored
that
icing.
so much. That's so cool.
Yeah, so my daughter took one, and we're gonna paint it together this weekend.
Oh,
because they were gone. They were gone.
Yeah.
I bought I didn't want them to be sold. I bought the cookies outright so that I could give them away. Um, and so that was part of my giveaway for everybody who was there. And I was I mean, I'm an introvert at heart, so, like, I would normally never throw myself a party. Like, that gives me such anxiety. Um, Not just because, like, being the center of attention, but also I, like, revert to my, like, school age self, and I'm like, "Nobody's gonna come. Like, I'm gonna have this party, and nobody's gonna come."
I know.
Um, and so many people came. Like, it was so great. Like, 85% of the people were people that I knew that I had, like, personally invited, and then, like, 15% were people who there were a couple listeners there. There was, one of our listeners, Yarrow, her cousin, came. I think it was Maya. I'm gonna forget names, so I'm sorry if I'm saying names wrong because it was very overwhelming, like, in a
Yeah.
good way, but very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Um, and people who just kind of, like, I think saw me posting it in, like, local social media and stuff like that. So people who just came, like, even the shop owner was like, the day before, she's like, "One of my customers wants to know if she can come." And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely."
Yeah.
Like, it was technically a private party, but I was like, the more the merrier. Um, and yeah, so, like, I read some excerpts, which I think is hilarious because I've never read aloud from my books in front of my children.
Oh, that's a
Um,
good point. That's a good
yes.
point.
And so I chose 2 excerpts that I had already chosen for my audiobook excerpts, so I knew they were, like, safe enough to put on social media, but one of the excerpts was right at the end of a chapter, so I'm like, "I'm just gonna read the last couple of paragraphs, like, why stop here?" In the middle of reading, I realized why stop here, because it was literally it's very K-drama kiss, like, falling onto each other kiss, but then he gets a fucking boner.
He gets a boner. Yeah. You
Yeah.
feel his hard length,
Feel his heart
right?
length.
Feels hard
Yeah,
length. That's my favorite thing to say.
yeah. And I was like, I'm reading, I'm like, "I'm gonna stop," and everybody starts laughing. I'm like, I can't keep going,
My kids are
folks."
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and my
That's
son
amazing.
so the shop owner, Amanda, actually got a picture of my son during one of the things I said that probably, like, was, like, mild embarrassment. He was great, but, like, the look on his face was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, like, oh god.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was so funny. It was so funny, but it was great. It was wonderful. I'm so glad that I did it.
me too.
I was terrified doing it, but it was so much fun, and I sold, like, 35 books, so, yeah, I'd say that was a win for opening night.
That is amazing. I'm
Yeah,
glad you did it for yourself. You deserved it. It's a celebration of accomplishing something that's hard to do. Indie publishing is hard and it's a lot of work.
it's
It's
hard, and,
yeah,
like, I'm still working, like, all day I've been, like,
right.
reacting to social media, which I think is great, like, I one thing that I will say so the thing about indie publishing that you know, and I mean, you told me yesterday, do not look at your numbers, like, don't look
No,
at your numbers today,
no.
and even today, like, I I'm brand new in the indie market. Nobody knows who the hell
Yep.
Amy J. Elliott is.
You have to give
And I
yourself
know
time.
it's going to be slow and steady.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I will say is the reviews that I've been getting tagged in, not that I'm not proud of my 23 other books, but the reviews that I've been getting tagged in are some of the best reviews I've ever had on a book ever.
Oh, that's
And it's
because
been
like you
so lovely. I wrote the book that I
I was
wanted.
just gonna say that's the thing. You wrote the book you wanted. You got this idea. You absolutely loved this idea. You were in love with it. This is the book you wanted to write. You wrote it. It was like you. It was
I
K drama ish
it
with
oh yeah.
paranormal elements, and I think, yeah, I mean, I think that's why it shows in the writing when you write something. It does. You know, I
And not to say that my contracted books aren't books that I wanted to write,
it's
but I
just
had
different.
to do them the way my publisher wanted me to do them. I mean, to the extent where, like, my most recent, traditionally published book, which I love, Almost One Night Stand, which is my soccer hero,
Right.
soccer coach hero, where I learned what offside meant and I explained it correctly. Um, but, I rewrote that book, like, 3 times because, my editor and I were just not, like, meshing on it. And when you get to that point, you start, like, wondering, like, are any of the words that ever come out of my typed
Yeah.
fingers, like, good at all? And
Yeah.
it was very, very hard. So, anyway, this is all just to say that I as soon as I got this idea, and the idea came from a tweet that Leah shared. I think like in I don't know if it was in our discussion, it was somewhere in a discussion, like either on Facebook or Instagram, and it
Mhm.
was just a tweet that said, "I wonder if a zombie and a ghost could like be the same, like come from the same body."
Mhm.
And this whole book like spawned from that.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that. I love how you can get like one little idea from something.
Yeah,
I had talked on our Patreon live that I started this BL, and the relationship that is the like romance of the BL is not the one that I want. Like I wanted a different romance with two different like male characters, but now I'm like I'm going to write it.
right,
Like I mean it's not going to be like fanfic, it's like going to be my own
right,
whatever, but it's the like I guess the archetypes, the dynamic
right.
kind of I was like I'm taking it and I'm going to write. Yeah, and that's like that's what's so fun about this. So,
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
yeah, I'm so happy for you and the work doesn't stop. Like just keep going
No, I
and
know. I
yeah,
know.
it'll all come together. So, I don't know what's a segue, girl. I
Okay, I'll say this because I'll
okay.
just for one more because I'm not good at it, but I'm on a roll. So for just like one more minute, I'll just like toot my own horn, blow smoke up my own ass or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so I got so there's a bookstagrammer who, got an early copy and read it and gave a great review. And then today she posted in her stories, still thinking about this one. And it was my book.
Mhm.
And so segue from
Oh,
there
I
is
love that.
what are scenes from K-dramas that we still think about,
Yeah.
that still live rent free in our minds? And this kind of came from like, for whatever reason, this past week, and Megan and I were talking about it, our feeds have been filled with reels highlighting super emotional scenes from some of the very first dramas we watched. Um, Scenes that hit us right in the feels, even though we haven't watched those dramas in 5 years. Scenes that still elicit the same visceral emotion as the first time we watched them. And it got us thinking about K drama scenes that still live rent free in our minds. Um, I recently procured a sticker for my water bottle. I just have to, I got a new Owala. Because I got a smaller one because I have the big 40 and I love it, but it's such a pain in the ass to carry around. So I don't know if we can see this, but like,
I can see it.
so it just says most ardently,
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
um, Mr. Darcy from the 2005 version with Matthew McFadden. Because fight me on it if you want. He's my favorite Mr. Darcy. Okay.
Mhm.
I love Colin Firth, but the 2005 Keira Knightley, Matthew McFadden, I don't know what it is. He's my Mr. Darcy. Anyway, um, but like just a line like that can give me like all the feels, right? From when Darcy first proclaims his love for Elizabeth and she rejects him. And before he says most ardently, he says, I love you.
Mhm.
Um, but Matthew McFadden's shaky voice delivery of most ardently, like where he's like, I'm laying it all on the table, even though he's doing it so poorly, like it's like against my will, I love you. Like you're beneath me, but I love you.
Mhm.
And it gets me every time. So I love stuff like that that sits with you and that can, bring it back up like everything you felt from seeing that scene or from reading that line just from a couple of words. So because I'm, taking liberties and starting out with a Western example, what is one line or a quote from a Western book or movie or show that gets you every time?
Yeah, I mean, this is not romance, but, there are so many lines from Game of Thrones that elicit strong reactions in me. This isn't these aren't like vocal stimulations like from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, like, I'll go." Like, that's like I repeat or like 9 times, like, I repeat
Not
that kind of
I
stuff.
cannot hear 9 times and
Me
not
either.
say 9 times.
Me either. But in Game of Thrones, even just very short quotes just evoke like like I feel an emotion. So one is the North remembers, which is like, kind of like the Stark household um motto. And then tell her it was me. Like I want Cersei to know it was me, which is like kind of this like ultimate smug revenge. Um uh because it was like the grandmother or whatever had poisoned Cersei's son. So both of those are kind of, yeah, they get me every time. There's so many Game of Thrones quotes that I think about and get me in the feels every time.
And before we fully dive in, like, let's talk about the scene that
Yeah.
sparked this show idea because it's like as soon as you brought it up, I'm like, I've been seeing that too. The crash landing on you border scene where
Ridiculous.
he's going back to North Korea, like we've got like whatever, like, troops there from either side, like making sure like the handoff goes smoothly.
Hmm.
And Yoon Suri has just woken up from like her second near death experience in the hospital and, finds out that, Captain Ree had been by her side the whole time. And she and her, I mean, was it stepmother? Yeah. She and her stepmother race to the border and she runs and she's just had like major surgery and she runs to him and everybody's got their guns drawn and he's saying, "Stop running, stop running."
He's like, stop running, stop running. And she is full on, she's like shuffling in her little heels and she's sobbing and she's like ignoring everyone around. This is also to her focus is only on Captain Ree. All she keeps saying is, how could you leave me without saying goodbye? You can't leave without saying goodbye. Like, that is her only focus. She doesn't give a fuck that there's like guys with guns, that this is the North Korean border. She does not care. Because that and he is the same. His only focus is on her, concerned about her running. You know,
Because he even breaks away, right?
yeah,
Like, does he even
he
breaks
breaks
away?
away. He recrosses the border because he's
Yes,
technically in North Korea. Okay, so he breaks away because he's concerned. He doesn't want her to cross. So I think he's concerned. You know what I mean? This came up in my reels, and I watched the entire thing and started tearing up. And I was
yes.
like, oh my God, I watched this clip for less than 30 seconds. I didn't watch any of Crash Landing. Like, the fact that I can watch a less than 30-second clip and my eyes start welling with tears is insane.
That scene gets me every time. And it's like the whole entire drama just comes back. Like I know like everything that happened before when he pretends that he was faking it the whole time, that he doesn't love her to like keep her from getting in trouble from harboring a North Korean and all his little ducklings, like from, taking care of them and letting them like hide out with her. Like he sacrifices everything for her
Hmm.
and then she's ready to sacrifice everything just to say goodbye to him. Oh God. Amazing. Amazing. I can't like even like my next question we're kind of already answering. Like
Hmm.
why does that scene still punch you in the gut even though you've already seen it and like know what comes after? And for me that is the epitome of good writing, good directing. Because it's everything that went into that scene. Like
Hmm.
the cinematography of that scene, like
Hmm.
everything was so pitch perfect that you can watch that out of context. And I don't know what it would be like if you didn't know the story, but like knowing the whole story and knowing what comes before and what comes after, how heart-wrenching that scene is in the moment. And you also know how heart-wrenching that scene is because that's the last time they see each other
Hmm.
for years.
Hmm.
For
True.
years.
You're right. It is.
So, because I'm sure there are so many scenes that live rent free in our minds and make us wish we could see them for the first time again, we're going to assign some categories to scenes to hopefully keep us mildly organized. And some of these scenes are like they're spoilers, right? Like that scene in
Hmm.
Crash Landing on You. I'm not even bothering like warning people about spoilers because that's an iconic scene. It's like an iconic drama. And if you haven't seen it, that's not going to ruin the drama for you.
Hmm.
That's because it's not the beginning, it's not the end. Anyway. But we'll do our best to warn you ahead of time if we are going to get something that's pretty spoilery. But if we mention a drama that you haven't seen yet and don't want to experience a key scene before seeing it for the first time, you might want to move ahead, you know, and see what we're talking about next. Um, just skip ahead 30 seconds and see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll do our best. All
Yeah.
right. But it's really funny because I have like held back in previous episodes of talking about like my OG like ultimate favorite drama to not like, beat a dead horse but I'm going to be beating that horse tonight because there's so much Goblin I talk about tonight.
Yeah, and one, I think it's hard because we're talking about
Yeah,
scenes that have stuck with us, and so we're gonna talk about the scenes that stuck with us. Like, I can't just
right.
pull.
It's our favorite dramas.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to be like, yes, this is a really memorable scene, but I've never mentioned it before. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I've never talked about this scene
True.
before.
True. Okay,
Mm.
that makes total sense. All
Yeah,
right.
so I'm
So it
sorry,
makes
guys.
sense that like every answer I was like, God, I'm talking about Goblin again, but whatever. So what is a scene that can still make you tear up other than the Chloe scene, even seeing it randomly out of context?
So this was pretty easy for me. And it's from I Am Not a Robot. And
I knew it would be.
yeah, so I'm Not a Robot is about a woman who poses as a robot, but she's not. She's acting. And this like very eccentric billionaire becomes super attached to her, but he's obviously very conflicted because he's like, holy shit, I'm falling in love with a robot. This is crazy. I I'm losing my mind because I'm falling in love with a robot, but she seems so human. And it's like, yeah, because she is fucking human, but he doesn't know that. And so this is a spoiler. There is a scene where it becomes he feels like he can't go on like this. He feels like he's losing his mind because he's falling in love with a robot. And he's like, I need to cut myself off from this situation, which I kind of like. I love that whole plot point where he's do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I really anyway. I love the idea that they lean into that conflict, basically. I love that about I Am Not a Robot. So again, he thinks she's a robot, okay? And she has this like button on the back of her neck. And he's like, I'm going to reset it. And once it resets, because part of the whole robot thing too is that she's learning him. Like it's very AI before AI was really a discussion. So the more he spends time with her, the more she become like as he believes this robot is becoming acclimated to him. So he's like, I need to cut this off completely. I need to wipe the robot's memory. Even though he can't wipe his own memory, which is also terrible, but he's willing to do that because he's like, this is not right. Like, it's not right that I'm falling in love with this robot. So even though I'm going to remember, I'm going to wipe the robot's memory. And she agrees, but she's also falling in love with him. But she's also like, I'm a fucking robot, or I'm a human, but like he thinks I'm a robot, and she can't tell him the truth because if she does, he might go and he has this like he has a touch phobia. If he's touched by a human, he breaks out into like a rash and anaphylactic shock, and she doesn't want to kill him. So she's like, I can't tell him I'm actually a human. My God. So
Oh,
it's
I
like
know.
bringing it back. So I watched this scene again because one thing we're doing is we're putting links in the show notes of like the scenes we're talking about. And they like both interact with each other. He's like, I'm gonna remember you for the rest of my life. You've changed me. And she's trying to maintain this like robot
Right,
professionalism,
and she wants to cry.
but she's dying inside. She's
Yeah.
dying inside. And he presses, and this is what's so hard is that she's willing to do this for him because he thinks he's wiping her memory. And he's not. She remembers everything because she's an actual human. So he's like, I love you. And he's bawling. He's like hugging her and he's sobbing. And he presses this button on the back of her neck. And even though she is absolutely dying inside and crumbling, she has to pretend that he just reset her. And she has to pretend now that all her memories are wiped. And it also just completely changes the trajectory of the drama then. And it is just such an emotional scene. The first time I watched it, I just cried my eyes out. It's so good.
Is that the scene where Neil hurt his foot?
Yes, and that's the scene where my husband came up to check on me because I was crying so hard. He thought a family member died. He thought I was on the phone and a family member died. And then he like tripped on something and gashed open his foot. So there's like blood in the house. And then I'm like helping him clean his foot while I'm still crying. Like I'm still stuck in like K-drama land. So anyway, that one, and then I have one more. So if you watched My Dearest, So my dearest is very like Gone with the Wind type Seguk. And the heroine is like a noble woman. But again, this is during like the Japanese occupation, like that's part of like the time period here. And so she is essentially stolen, and she's taken to this like small village, and we a spoiler, I mean, we learn later she was actually sexually assaulted. We don't know at the time. We think like they're very like ambiguous about it, but we think something might have happened. And then she is put on an auction block. And so she's like filthy. She's just been through absolute hell. She's still wearing her noblewoman's clothes, but they are, again, they're filthy, they're torn, she's dirty, her hair is falling out of like the super neat bun they wear. I'm sure there's a proper name for the hairstyle. I'm sorry. Um she's kneeling on this auction block, and the auctioneer is essentially selling her. Like, I'm selling this noblewoman who wants to buy her. And the hero, like the crowd parts and the hero is just standing there. And he's also wearing nobleman's clothes because he's also some type of like nobleman. And he sees her, and they do this like, he does this like slow walk. You can tell he is like, what the fuck? Like, how did this happen? And he does this like slow walk up to the auction block. And oh my God, I'm gonna cry. I think he kneels down with her. Like, he gets down to her level. And you see the tears starting. And he's like, how? Because he doesn't understand why she's there. He cannot believe, because he's already been in love with her. Like, this is okay. Like, he's been in love with her. And he's like, how? And he's like, why? But of course it's way. And then he just
And
starts
like,
so at first he's just like, how? And then he's like, way. And then he just yells, way. And he's just like, the tears are coming. And it's the minute he yells way, because he's just so angry that she's in that state, that he like loses it. And every single time that my dearest auction scene gets me, again, I had to watch it because I wanted to find a clip for it, and I was tearing up watching it.
so that's one of the ones that has been fed to me in my Instagram feed that has made me want to watch My
It's
Dearest.
that scene is so incredible, because he tries to touch her, and she actually like shies away from his touch, because she is so traumatized in
Yeah.
that moment. Oh my God, it's incredible. And the anger, the acting that he does in that scene is chef's kiss perfect.
Amazing. So, like I said, I'm going to be talking about Goblin a lot tonight. And right now I'm going to give you 3 scenes from Goblin. So, and these are very poignant scenes and they are spoilers. I would not want to know these scenes if I had not seen Goblin yet. So, skedaddle on by to what comes next, because these scenes are amazing. So I'm going to start with the rooftop scene, which is like a third of the way through the drama. I think it's episode 5. And the rooftop scene is, so at this point, Ji Yoon Tak, Kim Go On, she knows that Kim Shin, Gong Yu, she knows he's a goblin. She knows he has this invisible sword stuck in his chest, and she knows that only she can remove it. But if and when she does, he will disappear. Like, that's fine. What the reason why the goblin needs a goblin bride, like whoever is like the chosen goblin bride, is she is the only one who can remove this cursed sword from his chest so that he can finally be at rest, because he has been living as an immortal for like 900 plus years, and all he wants is to die. Like, he's had enough. By the way, my next hero in my next book is a vampire who is basically like Kim Shin. Like, he's a vampire who's had enough. He just wants to die.
I love it.
But he can't for reasons. Until he meets the heroine. Anyway, so Yoon Tak knows that she can free him, so to speak, by removing the sword, but she doesn't want to because she loves him. But the scene on the rooftop is Yoon Tak can see ghosts. And usually ghosts don't bother her much. They just like want her company. But there is a ghost of basically like the king's like right-hand man from like Goryeo era, from when Kim Shin was actually alive. And he has always had it out for Kim Shin. And he's basically back, and he's got a creepy long purple tongue.
Mhm.
And he wants to basically like, kill Untak. Um, the only thing that Kim Shin can do to vanquish this ghost, this evil ghost, is strike him down with his sword. And so there's a scene where he's holding her hands. Like she's basically, I think she's almost unconscious at this point because something has happened. Um, and because she wouldn't do it willfully. So she's holding onto the sword, and he holds her hands and pulls the sword out and then strikes down the villain and then drops to his knees. And you've got Lee Dong-wook as the Reaper, who has been trying to reap Untak, since she was born, standing doing his like single tear and crying, while Kim Shin is
Mm.
dying.
Mhm.
And then you've got Ji Eun-tak, who is kneeling in front of him, trying to like not let him go, hysterically crying, knowing that when he disappears, something's going to happen and she's not going to remember him.
Right.
And he starts to like, float away like particles, like burning
Mhm.
paper.
Mhm.
And you watch this happening, and I mean, like, this kind of acting, like, I've heard actors talk about how, like, acting is essentially like you have to embarrass yourself, like, the most you ever can to be able to do the things that you need to do. And, like, that it's hard, that obviously it's very hard. And Kim Go-eun's acting in this, like, I can't believe it's not her, she's not really going through this. The way she is hysterically crying, collapsing onto the rooftop of this building, um, begging herself to remember him,
Yeah.
um, as he disappears, absolutely guts me. And I watched it, of course, like, for this to be able to talk about it, and absolutely gutted me again. But of course, Kim Shin does never really die.
Yeah.
Kim Shin comes back. But when he does come back, and we're fast forwarding a decade, when he does come back, she has forgotten him, but she knows that there's something missing in her life. Like she's depressed. She's just like very melancholic. And but she doesn't know why. She basically just thinks that, well, I guess this is what it's like to be 29 or whatever. And, but this guy keeps showing up. Kim Shin keeps showing up, but she doesn't know who he is. Um, and he, uh, one of his powers is that he can see people's futures, but he can't ever see hers clearly because she's the goblin's bride. But all he knows is that he has seen her at this restaurant in Quebec with a man in her future, and he's devastated by it because she finds someone else and like moves on. And as we go forward a little bit and he keeps like showing up in her life, we find out that he is the guy who shows up at the restaurant in Quebec, and is eating with her. And these little like snippets of her like with him starts to like trigger possible memories, but it's not until she's basically like, I don't know who you are, like leave me alone, like kind of thing. And she's walking around Quebec, and a maple leaf falls, and she remembers the first time she followed him through the red door from the library into Quebec, and everything comes back. And she starts hysterically crying and saying, "Oh my gosh, I miss you. I miss you. Where are you?" And she's running through town, and the way to summon a goblin is to blow out a candle. And she finds a shop that has a little like lantern, candle lantern, like hanging outside the shop. And she blows out the candle, and she's still crying, "Where are you? I miss you. Where are you? Where are you?" And he's not there. And all of a sudden she turns around, and there he is.
Yeah.
And they have like this big passionate kiss because she's a grown up now, and Megan doesn't have to be creeped out about it.
Yeah, no more schoolgirl bow tie and
Yeah. Yeah. It is called Guardian, the Great and Lonely God. So he is
it
a
is.
guardian for the first third of the drama.
Yes.
It's not romantic. Anyway, that scene absolutely slays me. And then there's one more, and this is almost the end. And I can't believe I watched this scene again. So the whole like conceit is that Untak has escaped death more times than she should have. She was supposed to die in the womb, but Kim Shin saved her mother. Then she was supposed to die as a child, but Kim Shin saved her. Um, so like every 9 years she turns up on like the Reaper list. Um, but the more I like think about this, like the more empowering I think it is, even though I hate it. Because she's always been trying to escape the Reaper's list of people who need to be reaped. And in this instance, it's not because she's on the list, it's because she chooses for this to happen. And basically, it's a white truck of doom situation. And she could be fine, but she sees that the truck is going to hit a small bus of small school children. And so she pulls into the street. The truck is like out of hand, barreling forward, can't stop. So she pulls into the middle of the street, slams on the brakes, and just waits and lets the truck hit her. And she's on the phone with Kim Shin while this is happening. And he's like talking about what they're going to do when she gets home. And he's holding a glass of wine. And then all of a sudden, like in slow motion, you see the glass of wine drop and shatter. And he's running and she's bloody, laying bloody against the steering wheel. And everybody who the Reaper reaps comes to his tea shop and they drink tea to forget their human life so that they can move on and be reborn again and have a clean slate. And so Untak shows up in the tea shop and Kim Shin is there too, which is not the norm to have, somebody that you love there. But she basically tells Reaper, I want to remember. I'm not going to drink the tea. And she apologizes to Kim Shin for dying
Yeah.
and says that she will remember him and she will find him this time. And then she says goodbye to him, turns and looks back at him one more time, and then walks up this like lighted staircase. And then Gong Yu, basically, his Kim Shin in that moment mirrors her on the rooftop,
Mhm.
drops to his knees, hysterically crying. Oh my God, this drama.
Right.
Like,
I
oh my
know.
God. These 3 scenes absolutely kill me. Every single time I see them, I love them. I love them. And if I ever just need a good catharsis, I will just watch the tea shop scene. And it's unhinged, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
So good. So good. All right, let's move on from teary scenes.
Right.
Let's do something a little bit different. Okay. So what's the scene that makes you laugh just thinking about it?
So, in Kin Porsche, Porsche is a bodyguard for Kin. That's like how they're kind of in the same household. And Kin has a brother named Kun, and Kun has 2 carpfish, and they're in the pond outside, and they're named Elizabeth and Sebastian. And Porsche pees in the pond. He doesn't think it's a big deal. He's like, I gotta take a piss because he pees in the pond, and he kills them. And Kun the next day is losing his mind. He's like, who killed Elizabeth and Sebastian? And it's like this like whole thing. And he keeps saying Elizabeth and Sebastian. And it's just so ridiculous. Portia's like, who's Elizabeth and Sebastian? He's like, ask someone. He's like, who the hell's Elizabeth and Sebastian? And they're like, it's the carp. Someone did something to the pond. And Portia's like, oh shit. Because he knows he peed in
That's
it.
so funny.
And then the second one is from Business Proposal, when the heroine is trying to mess up a blind date. She wants this blind date to go terribly, so she's very over the top, and she talks about her boobs, Samantha and Rachel. I mean, remember when that scene came out?
It was
Everyone talked about
floored.
it.
Yeah.
It was everywhere. Everyone talked about Samantha and Rachel.
I love it so much. And this isn't one that I mentioned, but that also made me think of I Have No Chingu, which is also
Oh
from
my God,
Business
I Have No
Proposal,
Chingu.
which is so fun.
Oh,
so funny.
We love I Have No Chingu, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and these mine are not spoilers. They're just spoilers if you haven't seen the funny scene, but they're not going to spoil the drama. And
yeah, mine aren't really spoilers.
The first one is the condom shower in Lovely Runner, where Byun Musak, his character, Sanjay, and his dad are fighting over this duffel bag that's not his, it's his friend's. And so he's fighting over it and he's like, no, give it back to me, give it back to me. And of course, like they both like let go and it flies up in the air. And neither of them knew this. Like Sanjay didn't know. He just knew his friend needed to come back and get this duffel bag just filled to the brim with condoms. And it goes in slow motion. Condoms fly up in the air and then slowly rain down on everybody. And it's already bad enough because Sanjay and is it Imsol? Is that her name? I think.
I think so.
They had been caught because they fell asleep in the shop that she worked at, but nothing happened. They fell asleep. She woke up. She had drooled on him and was like, "Oh no, I drooled on your shirt." And then goes to like wipe off the drool and rips his shirt. So he's there in a ripped shirt. The girl's there. He's got this duffel bag full of condoms, and they just start raining down on them. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
And
I
then I'm
love it.
going back to Goblin, because it's the Dokkaebi underwear song. So for reasons, Goblin and Reaper are like roommates, which is hilarious because they're supposed to be enemies, but they are roommates. And Reaper is doing the laundry and he's folding the laundry and starts like, he's got a pair of Kim Shin's underwear and just starts like stretching them and singing this like it's a popular, I think, Korean like children's song, and it's like a Dokkaebi underwear song, and it's like, the goblin's undies are stinky, like the goblin's undies are dirty, and Kim Shin's losing it. He's like, "Stop it! Stop it!" And Reaper's just dancing and stretching his undies.
I love it.
Okay. What epic action scene still gets your adrenaline pumping?
Yeah, I mean, this is hard, just FYI,
To
because
to like not
yeah,
pick all of them?
I
Yeah.
watch a lot of action scenes.
Yeah.
Well, or action drama. So I would say this is in my top 5 favorites action scene, and this is from Study Group, and this is the flaming book bag scene. And if you've watched Study Group, you know. So Study Group, the action scenes are a little comic bookish because they're very like they defy physics in a way that's like they're not trying to pretend that this would work. Does that make sense a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a flaming book bag scene where Yoon Ga Min, he's like the lead character. He is like unnaturally good at fighting and strong. Okay. And he's fighting another student. They're in a classroom together. Like everyone else is outside the classroom watching the fight. They think this is going to be like an epic showdown and they think the other guy's going to win, but they don't know how good Yoon Ga Min is at fighting. But there's like it's crazy because but there's like somehow a fire gets started on the floor and the other guy picks up the book bag that's on fire and throws it at Yoon Ga Min. And Yoon Ga Min, and it's so funny because they'll show like the students like outside in the hallway looking through the windows, like their heads turn because they're watching this flaming book bag go flying through the air towards Yoon Ga Min. Yoon Ga Min, this is such a cool scene, so I'm going to put it in the show notes because you have to see it. It's so freaking cool. He leaps in the air, catches the flaming book bag in his feet, does a whole gymnastic twist in the air, and then flings it back at the guy. So then you watch the people outside, their heads turning again as the book bag slams into the other guy. He goes flying back into the lockers and like the fight's over. And everyone outside is like, "Holy shit, Yoon Ga Min!" Like it's crazy. It's such a cool scene because it's so well shot. Like there's like these like slow-mo bit, like it's like sped up and then slow-mo and then sped up again. Um it's just beautifully choreographed. Like I love a good choreographed fight scene, frankly. Like um and then I haven't even seen K2,
I know, neither have I, but still.
but I've seen the shower fight scene. Who hasn't? If you watch K-dramas, even if you haven't seen K2, you've probably seen Ji Chang-uk's K2 shower fight scene where he fights in nothing but soap suds. Um and then look, this isn't a scene, but I'm so like literally the entirety of Bloodhounds. Anytime a Bloodhounds reel comes up in my feed, I'm gonna watch it because it's also just like incredible action.
Yeah, the K2. I've never seen it, but I've seen that scene, and
Right?
it's
We all have.
iconic.
Yeah.
Iconic. Okay, so I'm going back to one. This is back when I came up with my epic episode 11 theory that I
Oh my
thought
God, I
something
forgot.
major
Yeah.
always happened. But it has to be in like a 16 or 20 episode drama. But like there's some big epic action scene in episode 11. And this is from The King Eternal Monarch, which I haven't talked about in a long time. And so in A King Eternal Monarch, we have parallel universes, and Lee Min-ho is the king, Egon, in Korea with a C, and Kim Go-eun is Tae-ol. She is a police detective in regular Korea with a K. But she is in his world and she has been through it. She has been kidnapped, she has been drugged. She has somehow escaped her kidnappers, but she's still like almost collapsing from being drugged. And she's standing beaten and bloody in the middle of the street. And the police are coming for her because she is wanted in Korea with a C. Um, and so police are coming for her, but not rightfully so. Like everything's like fabricated. And then you start hearing horses galloping. Like all these police are showing up in cars and you start hearing horses galloping. And cut to this like mass of horses, all of them dark colored except for Egon, who's on his white horse Maximus, um, galloping with swords. They don't have guns, they have swords, um, to go and save her. And he says, protect her at all costs. She is the future queen of Korea. And then he's like riding and like flies off of his horse and just starts like slicing down baddies to get to her, until he finally gets to her in the middle of the street and she's like near collapse, and he catches her. And fuck that scene every freaking
Every
time.
time. I'll watch it every time.
It's
The
so
whole
good.
thing. I'll watch the whole
It's
thing.
so
Yeah.
good. Don't worry, it's gonna be linked.
Yeah.
And then going back to Crash Landing on You, the motorcycle scene. Not just the motorcycle scene, but like the way he gets off the motorcycle and lets it like skid to the ground and then he rolls, and oh, it's so good. And this is a rescue scene too. And it's one of those scenes where and I didn't know this because this is my first drama, where you get to see a scene from a different perspective and see how it all goes down. So like in the first time you see the motorcycle situation happen, you don't know that it's Captain Ree on the motorcycle. You just know that Yoon Suri, and Captain Ree's like duckling who's driving her, are being chased and trying to get like mowed down. And then you see this motorcycle driving along the street and you don't know, is that guy friend or foe? And then he flies off the motorcycle, motorcycle skids to the ground, he rolls and his helmet comes off and it's Captain Ree. And then we get to go back, and I think it's even like one of those like post-credit scenes where it goes back and it shows him getting the motorcycle ready. Like he knew he had to follow her. Like he always knew that he was going to be there to rescue her. Oh, so good.
It
So
is.
good.
It's the when he like the motorcycle like turns. Oh, it's so good.
Yes. Ugh. And a quick honorable mention for the big box store scene in Bad and Crazy, where the fight choreography with just like store items is
Yeah.
absolutely hilarious.
It's so good.
What sexy scene still makes your heart race?
So obviously there's a lot. Like this was hard. So I'm going to bring up the one that came across my algorithm recently. And I was like, how could I forget how good this kiss was? This kiss was so good. And this was from Bad and Crazy. And of course, it's Lee Dong-wook, because no one kisses like Lee Dong-wook. And she realized, see, I don't even fully remember the circumstances of this kiss. You know what? I'm not even gonna talk because I feel like I'm still gonna not spoil Bad and Crazy for you guys. Let me just I'm gonna link the kiss, but basically it's Lee Dong-wook. He knows how to kiss. It's an amazing kiss, and it gets me every time because he always puts his whole pussy into kissing. Like just Lee Dong-wook, he's so good at it. He's so good at it.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Look, I feel like I've mentioned both of these recently, but I'm gonna mention them again because this is just what first comes to mind, and because we're doing links for all these, so you'll get to see them because I've talked about them, but I haven't gotten to show them to you. And one is, always lives rent free in my mind is the Coffee Prince door kiss, like
We all
picking
know.
her up and slamming her against the door, not
Yeah.
slamming her, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then the Destined with You cotton candy kiss, where she has cotton candy sticking out of her mouth and he bends down and bites it and then kisses her. It's way, way sexier than cotton candy ever should be. So good. Okay. What scene makes you cringe with secondhand embarrassment?
This took me a little to think of one, and then as soon as it hit me, I was like, "Oh, this one absolutely!" And it's the Egg-Yo in Fight for My Way.
That's so good.
The
That's so
Egg-Yo
good.
in Fight for My Way. If you've seen Fight for My Way, you know, but it's Park Seo-joon and Kim Ji-won, and she wants something from him, and so she does this like Egg-Yo to him, and his friends, his like fighting coach is like there and is kind of horrified by her egg yo, but then Park Seo Joon gives it to her back, and he does egg yo back, and she's shocked that he does it back. Okay, the coach is beyond disgusted, and it's so over the top. It gives me secondhand embarrassment every time.
It's so funny. It's so good. I
Because doesn't
love
he
it.
go like or something at
Yes.
the
Yes.
at the end? It's just so good.
So mine is from I Am Not a Robot.
This is a,
And this
this
is
is a good
actually
one.
what made me think of the question.
Yeah.
So, and it was very hard for me to find. I couldn't find a video, but I found a picture of it. So, towards the end of the drama, Gia is still trying to hide that she is the robot, like when she's a human out in the world. And her story is that she is an inventor, and she's been trying to get like funding for this invention that she's created. And so she goes to this like inventor competition, but Min Q is going to be there. And so she needs to disguise herself. Look, there are so many ways that a person can disguise themselves. I never in my wildest dreams would think of what she did.
It's terrible. It's so bad. It's the
It's
only
not- and
thing
it's not
about
even
that
just-
drama that I want to change. I want to change it so bad.
So first of all, I mean, she's also wearing like a wild, like looking outfit
I
so
hate it.
wild print like outfit, a giant like afro wig, which would be fine. The wig is fine. But then with it, she's got on like the crazy glasses that have like the mustache attached to it.
Like no sane person is wearing that. Like
No-
it's not a
at
disguise. It's
a
a costume.
formal competition.
Oh, I
too.
hate it. Stop. I hate it. It's like the one thing about that drama that drives me absolutely insane.
I can't.
It's their one misstep in that drama, basically.
And it does not ruin the drama by any means,
It
but the
doesn't.
scene is painful to watch.
Like we get what they're trying to achieve, putting her in the disguise is achieved. It's just the disguise itself that is just so embarrassing. I just want them to give her some other disguise.
And
That's it.
nobody asks her about it either.
Oh,
like she
God. No one's
Right?
like, why do you have these stupid fucking glasses with the mustache chain? It's so crazy.
so bad.
It's so.
Okay. And what's a scene you'll never forget that is just super badass?
You go first on this one because nothing tops this.
Okay. So it is Alchemy of Souls, episode 20, the end of episode 20. If you have not seen Alchemy of Souls, this is a spoiler because it's right before part 2 starts. So if you don't want to know how episode 20 ends, skip on by. So Jang-uk has been killed by Mudok. She was being controlled by Jin-moo, and she killed him and only came to like out of her trance after she stabs him. And then she starts to petrify as souls in bodies that aren't theirs do. And she jumps into the river or the sea, whatever it is. And Jang-uk is dead and he's buried. Well, not buried, but he has a funeral and there's a funeral pyre. Like they set his body on fire like a Viking.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like standing around him, like mourning for him, like crying. And then all of a sudden the flames rise up really high in blue, and then the fire goes out. And then there's all this smoke, and through the smoke, somebody starts walking through, and it's Jang-uk. Not fucking dead at all.
So freaking cool.
Cool guys don't look at explosions.
Cool guys don't
Like,
look at explosions.
like
It's so cool.
it's so good. And like bam, like that's the end of the episode pretty much. So good.
It's one of the most badass scenes in a K-drama.
Yeah.
Like I'd be hard pressed to find like a bet. There are some. I went with something just a little bit different because this also came up in my algorithm. Again, like some of this stuff, it was just like, is it like my top 10 or is it like my top badass scene? Maybe not, but it is one that like I think is badass and came up in my reels recently. And that's from the K movie Ballerina. So Ballerina is basically like a revenge drama. And the main character, who is a badass fighter, is a woman. And they don't say that the woman who died, that she's like avenging is her lover, but like she was I'm saying it's sapphic. I am. I don't care what anyone says. She loved this woman and she will do anything to avenge her death. Um so the ballerina is actually the woman who died. Okay. But the movie is called Ballerina. So, but the opening sequence on how they introduce the fighter, essentially, the fighter heroine, is she fights robbers. She's in a convenience store and these robbers come in and she fights them with a can of pineapples. And
Man,
it is
amazing.
so cool. Like the choreography, because she does so much with this can.
Yeah.
She like defends herself as they're like stabbing at her. It's so fucking cool. And it also sets the scene. Immediately show me that she's a good fighter. Immediately show me that also she's resourceful. Like it's like there's a lot of things that, yes, is it a aesthetically pleasing scene and is it fun to watch? Yes, but it also tells me a lot about her character because she's also like protecting this convenience store clerk that she has no attachment to, but she's just like it's the right thing to do. And she uses a can of pineapples. It's just so fucking cool. It's a really cool scene, and I'll link it so you guys can.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to close it out with just what's a scene that you haven't gotten to mention yet that still lives rent free?
I'm excited you asked this question because do want to mention the scene. So this is from Gyeongsang Creature. So Gyeongsang Creature is set during the Japanese occupation of Korea, and which I know is a long time period, but then Gyeongsang Creature does stretch over a long time period. But basically, there is a hospital and the Japanese like military and officials are stealing Korean people and experimenting on them. And they steal this one woman and turn her into a monster. And I'm talking like a massive monster who's unrecognizable. She has like 4 limbs, but she's not humanoid.
Is she squelchy?
Yeah, definitely. Massively squelchy. And she has they do show that she has this like necklace and it's still on the monster. Okay. So you do still see that there's this like necklace like on the monster that was like never taken off. So, they want to test this monster and they realize that they found her daughter and the daughter is the heroine of the drama. So the heroine is played by Han So-ee and her name in the drama is Cheok. So they bring Cheok and they put her like in this like dungeon with her mom who's a monster. And she's like bound and the monster comes like flying at her and you're like, "Oh my, I mean, I think the heroine's going to die? No, but like you're like this is the moment where you're going to like see what they're trying to do with this drama." And the mother, again, who is this like massive hulking gross looking monster, recognizes her daughter. And they really want the monster. The problem is they're trying to take out the humanity from this monster. That's the whole point. And when they realize that the monster isn't attacking the daughter because because she says like, "Oma, like Oma, what did they do to you? Oma, I'm so sorry." Even though she's saying it to this like massive monster who could like tear her apart. And so the monster doesn't like kill the daughter because she's like the monster there's still some humanity within this monster. And so from above the dungeon they're like looking down through these like grates and they're like, okay, like shoot to kill, like just kill the daughter if the monster isn't going to. And as they start shooting, the monster moves to protect the daughter. And I cannot tell you, Amy, how cool this scene is and how there's so many themes of motherhood in Gyeongsang Creature that I feel like I didn't realize going in. Um, but it's so strong and powerful in the first season because there's 2 seasons. But the mother kind of moves to protect the daughter. So she kind of brings her bulk like up and over her, but she can't fully protect her. She sends these tentacle, they're kind of like tentacle, they look like branches. She shoots these like branches out of her back and essentially throw with them arches like a branch cave over her daughter to protect her as like bullets are raining down on them. The bullets are like taking chunks out of like the monster skin out of these branches, but and they do this kind of like really cool like 3D like camera angle where they just show the this cage of branches over her daughter, and it's a beautiful moment, and it's like this is the thing, like, man, K-dramas, they get you, you know, because it's like it's this monster, and in that moment you're like, no, she's a mom, like she's a mother, this is her family, this is her daughter, this is her loved one, and no matter what they did to her, no matter what they turned her into, like she's still, they couldn't take that
You
humanity
can't
out of her.
take the maternal instinct out of the
You
mother.
can't, man. It's a beautiful scene. I think about the scene all the time. It comes up in my reels sometimes on Instagram, and I will watch it every single time, and it gets me every single time.
That sounds really cool. I want
It's
to
a
watch
really
it.
cool scene.
So it's funny because my scene is kind of similar, but I am going to say this is a spoiler. So if you have not seen Train to Busan, so I'm going for a movie here.
God. Oh God.
If you've not seen Train to Busan, do not listen to this.
Ugh,
Just
yeah.
skip ahead to the outro because this is towards the end of the movie. Okay. And it's another parental sacrifice.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I love Train to Busan is one of my top 5 movies of all time. Like, I
That's
say
great.
that every time I bring it up. I love it so much. And not just because it's Gong Yoo. It's like a fantastic ensemble cast. But this is a Gong Yoo scene, and they are so close. They are so close to making it to the train station where they are protected from zombies. And they are it is Gong Yoo, his daughter, who's like 9 or 10 years old, and another passenger on the train, a pregnant woman, whose husband was killed, but was turned into a zombie. So they're all that's left. They're all that's human. And they get to this one train, like they're able to unhook like the front train car from the rest of the train. So they've left all the zombies behind, and they're on this one car, just the 3 of them. And then you find out, nope, this a-hole dude who was like trying to block out all the people who were trying to make it to the contained like zombie free car. He ended up getting bit, and he is there like in the conductor little cabin, and he's a zombie, and he bites Gong Yoo. And Gong Yoo fights with him. Like, that's what happens. They fight, and Gong Yoo throws him off the train, but he gets bit. And he's changing quickly, and he's saying goodbye to his daughter, and he doesn't want his daughter to see him turn into a monster. And so he's like, he puts her and the woman like in the car and stay inside, and he goes to the back of the car, and you see his eyes are starting to go like milky white, and his life as a father I'm gonna cry. His life as a father flashes, before his eyes. And then you just see his shadow dive off the train car.
Stop. It's the best. It's the best. It's such a good scene.
The cinematography of this is unfucking believable. Like, oh, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, this was fun. I want to like rewatch everything now.
Yeah, we're gonna put as many links as we can find. I think we have almost all of them.
Almost all of them, yeah. I'm gonna put the Train to Busan one on there, and I'm gonna try and find the Koi one because we've seen it a million times on Instagram.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, it comes up all the time, and I, of course, I watched every time. I mean,
I love it.
These are scenes we don't skip.
No. And I love them, and it makes me want to rewatch my favorite dramas, but it also reminds me that my favorite dramas are my favorite dramas for a reason.
I know.
So
we're gonna talk about them.
Anyway.
This was really fun. This was a really fun time. We'll do it again with Leah. I'm sure we can find new categories.
I'm sad she missed it, but
I know.
Look, we went over an hour just being the 2 of us.
Yeah, right?
But we want to hear from you, listeners. What are your must rewatch scenes every time you see them? let us know, and we will see you next time.
Annyeong!
Annyeong!
감사합니다. Thank you for listening to Afternoon of Delight. Where can you find us outside the pod? Head on over to afternoonadelight.com. That's AFTERNOONADELIGHT.com. You'll find links to all our social media, our book recs, K-pop and K-skincare recs, and if you want even more Afternoon of Delight, because really who doesn't, you can join our Patreon, where you can choose the patron level that's right for you. Join in daily K-drama conversations, listen to bonus podcast episodes just for patrons, and participate in our monthly live K-drama support group via Zoom. We can't wait for you to be a part of the community. Until next time, annyeong!